So, Layla, hello, darling. And hi for chat. Hopefully, you want to hang out and do some .NET because that's what we're here for. And we just wanted to keep the show going. But good morning, good afternoon, Layla. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to get all my windows open. I just came off a meeting. I was like, I gotta go.
Literally,
I've got places
like
to
I have
be.
so many other projects going. Over the weekend I was looking and I had like 3 GitHub projects that I was working on. One was Tailwind and like a front end CSS workshop. One is what we're doing in like the .NET side of life. And then the other one, what was it? Oh, it was Maui. And so I'm just like, it was like all over the place. And so I very much like, if I share my screen right now, you'll see all of that. I don't know. Do you just like close it all out? Because I kind of just like live in the chaos.
Well, I have 3 monitors, so I can like shuffle stuff around.
Oh, so you do? Like you can just kind of push it over in a pile? Like it's not like actually closing? Because I know some people who are very like fresh start, and they're like,
I do that. I'm just going to see if I can pop out this. Oh, I wanted to pop out the chat so I can not have myself like in triplicate here. Wait. I can only think one thing at a time. Yay, done. Okay. Chat has been popped out. Okay, right now I can join the chit chats.
The chit chats, yes.
So I'm not a million tab type of person. I am an inbox 0 or aspiring inbox 0 person.
How often do you hit that?
A couple of times a year. But
I thought you were like, every day. And I'm like,
no. Like most of the time I'm definitely under 100. I've just got my Gmail, my personal Gmail down to inbox 0. And I've been holding it around 0 for the past 2 weeks.
Okay. Do you actually like unsubscribe to things or do you just archive?
I've just been doing this massive push to unsubscribe to stuff. So how I did it is
have you noticed a difference? Like, is it helping?
Oh. It's like really good. So my Gmail sorts everything out. I have it in the layout where you have like your main stuff, your social, and then the default one, and then you have promotions. So I went into my promotions and I deleted absolutely everything, bulk delete. And then as things have been coming through, I've just been unsubscribing, and I keep doing that. And it has made a huge difference. That promotions tab is, and there's a nice little thing in your, in the promotions when you do it on the web client is it says unsubscribe at the top. You don't have to go and find it, and you just click the unsubscribe part of the Google thing and it does it for you. So that's nice. Really helped.
Okay.
And then I did the same on my social because I don't need Twitter to tell me that 500 million people have posted. Yeah, Twitter, I get that's the point of Twitter. People post. You don't need to tell me. So I've been getting rid of those, and that's really helping. 40-something K.
Okay, I'm sorry. At some point, you just have to just archive all. Like I know that sounds insane, but like if you've gotten like let's say the last month, you've replied to everything within the last month. I think if I was at 40K, I would just have to archive all because it would just be overwhelming. There's no way. What
I
is
can't
that?
cope. So I see when teammates share their screen. And like one of my teammates has on their work email over 50,000 unread emails. And I'm like, I am feeling anxious looking at the tab on their shared screen. And then like another teammate has like 15,000 unread Gmails. And I'm like, I don't understand.
For people like that, will they ever read them all or are they just chilling in a box?
They just
like, what is
they've given up.
Okay, they've given up. Okay, cool. I was like, if that's an actual to do, I don't think I could. Like, darn, I missed the what? The yins? The what? What is happening?
We went live. No, Napalm, we just hijacked Catherine's show.
We did, yeah. Like 4 minutes ago, we just went live. We hijacked the show.
Discord though. I quickly, like as I went live, typed on my Discord, I'm going live. Otherwise, all the Discordians go.
Layla, like, you were talking about how you told Twitter to stop emailing you. Yes. And Duke is like, wait, people post on Twitter. Like, seriously, I was thinking about, and I don't know if this is possible, finding a way for Twitter to bother me more. Like, can I get every tweet sent to my inbox? Like, I know that's crazy.
Yes, you can. You can turn on the notifications.
Okay.
And I don't know how you tailor it to be like more specific, but it was telling me,
Okay.
did you know so and so posted this? I'm like, I don't give two tosses.
Because
thanks.
I am so like, I went on vacation. Do you want to guess what my average screen time was for my phone every day?
-6 minutes.
It
I
was
don't know,
about
you have
an
a child.
hour. It was about an hour, and it was mostly because I was checking maps on like where to drive to in the foreign location. And when I got back, it was like, this week you're up 50%. And so I'm averaging 3 hours a day on my devices, and it's for things like checking email.
And you're never
like,
checking the messages with me because like
I
some of my
know.
messages go on. So you need to like
I
turn
want
on
things
the
to be
Layla's
louder.
messaged me notification.
There's so many things in today's culture about quieting things, or like with iOS, they've got these different, they're not moods, but it's like essentially different, like you can set it to work and then only certain like things will ping you, or you can set it to like relax, or you can set it to do not disturb. But I just want a loud option. I need everything to scream at me so I can actually see it. And I feel like no one else in the world wants that. Like you're over here like, yeah, Twitter, shut up. And I'm like, Twitter can email you?
It can.
I think I'm gonna just start
you.
like for Signal. Signal could email me, just everything forward to my inbox, because I
Signal
do
can
see
do
email.
push. It can just like, hi.
Yeah, see, that's not loud enough. I need like dupes everywhere. Like, how about my Signal also DMs me on Twitter and sends something to my email? That'd be great.
You could just write a bot that does
Write a bot to do
and
it.
yeah, like just screams, telephones you.
At some point, you just see, that's exactly it. I don't see those little red bubbles. Do you see those bubbles, like, or like the, the notifications?
I'm not allowed no red bubbles on my phone.
So you do see them. That's fascinating.
Okay,
and I wish it was a skill I had. Like,
all right, my phone now, it has a 4 by this group here.
Okay, yeah.
And that is, I have 4 Signal messages and they will have to be cleared. I know who they're from. They're from my teammate who was sending me some details. And then those are the only, that's the only red dot. I don't have any other red dots anywhere. They're either turned off because I don't need notification. Oh no. So like I had unread text messages. Oh, let's see. I've just gone into my text messages and it has 3 unread messages. So I'm going to have to like just quickly
I have
open those.
8 voicemails, 4 text messages, 1 Slack, and 5 signals, and 21 things on Twitter that I have.
So some of those signals will be from
That's fascinating.
No,
I really do wish someone would create a louder mode. Just like make the whole icon red. That would be cool, And then I'm like, oh hey, somebody's trying to talk to me. Layla's like, this is the worst idea ever. Oh, sorry, Twitch. We are a little ditto. I have the bubbles. It drives me insane.
Yeah, see, Napalm and
if you could bottle that and sell it, I would buy it.
Oh my god, 500 unread emails on her phone. No.
Yeah.
So I am. Let me just check. Oh my, I have 1.
Yeah, what's your inbox right now?
1, and that's the link you just sent me for the stream. So I'm just gonna read that, and boom,
What?
I'm inbox 0.
Well, you just said you only get inbox 0 a couple times a year, but you only have.
Oh no, I did it 2 weeks ago. I got to inbox 0, and now I'm maintaining.
You're kind of keep. Okay, I gotcha.
I did a big push just to get back to 0. So I'll spend like 45 minutes.
Hey, look, Maddie's with me. Thank you, Maddie. I want to engage with Twitter.
I need to do
when
less Twitter.
Get on Twitter, I'll be like, oh, that's a cool thing. Let me retweet that. Oh, I had an idea. Let me tweet that. And then I go off of the Twitter tab. And for like 36 hours or more, I forget that Twitter exists. Like I have a really bad time. Like if it's not in front of me, maybe I should put sticky notes around my house. Did you know Twitter's a thing? Like.
No, I need to be more like you because I'm like, I've just checked Twitter again. Oh, stop checking Twitter, Layla. Nothing has happened. No one has said anything.
There's
and
so
all
many
of a
cool
sudden, my
ideas
phone is in my hand again, and I'm checking Twitter.
Layla, think of all the cool ideas you're not missing out on.
I now have 6 unread Signal messages. 6, and it's like it's flashing on, and I have 2 unread Slacks. Okay.
It is. The bubble becomes part of your aesthetic, and that's what your phone looks like. I love that. I see on some folders when I need to get rid of them, but 47.14 on the email. Yeah, no. So that's where I'm really confused because I don't see things. But when I'll open my inbox, then I can take care of like 70 emails in one go, right? Like, cause I'm like, yes, reply to that. Yes, archive. Like, but then like the whole like having thousands, like that's the part that I don't know how it gets to that point. That's the part I'm a little confused at. Cause then you just essentially have to like ignore everything past today, right? I wonder if maybe their client doesn't show everything, if it just shows today. I don't know.
I'm just traumatized. So every morning, the first thing I do on my work day, okay, I turn on my computer, I log into email, and I turn on Slack. I go through email. I get like a gajillion, like, you should share this on social. Delete, delete. You should come to this webinar on how to be a better salesperson. Why am I getting that? Delete, 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 delete. Inbox zero. Okay. I have been inbox zero, more or less, at VMware since I joined. And that feels good.
Okay. Personal question time. Recruiter emails.
I don't get them. No one wants to hire me.
Lies.
No, I don't
Lies. There's like so many like LinkedIn bots almost. I'm like, are you a person?
Oh, no. Because I'm not in America, so I'm not a desirable hire.
Oh, but remote is such a huge thing. This
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make
not
any
in
sense to me.
America. So I have, let me have a look on my LinkedIn right now. So no messages. I had one come in Tuesday, a new opportunity, dev first company, very senior DevX role. I had that. That's it. That's all I had. I maybe get a couple of months.
I try to reply to every recruiter. And I have like an auto reply, but sometimes if the job looks really cool, I'll like write a more specific thing because I'm so in love with my team and my lead and what I do right now that I just want to let people know, like, thank you for thinking of me, but I really could never leave. And so I try to reply. And sometimes they're like super sweet and I'm like, oh, awesome. Thanks for letting me know. But I had one that was like super snippy at me, but I think it was because I had an attitude with her because I was like, somebody didn't actually read my resume. Like, cause she like was asking for like something that I've never done before, would never be interested, React. And I was like, I love Angular, yo.
You and React can do one.
I was like, yeah, that's never going to happen. I have tried so hard to love React, Layla, and it makes me want to gag every time. I love you in chat if you love React. I'm sorry.
I have tried React on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
I managed to build a bit of an app with the template.
That gets that gets auto archived. Like, or Napalm, you were saying if you get 3 emails in one day from the same recruiter, like auto archive. Like if it's just like if it's like a one email and it's like an actual job that I would actually do, then I'll reply to them and she's like, I'm so sorry right now. I'm in love with my team, but I will keep an eye out for somebody who might fill your role, right? Like, but no, that kind of thing, I'm like, really?
I don't get any recruiter emails.
Wow.
I don't.
And it's just because you're not in the US?
I guess so. Or weird. I'm just not someone that people want to hire.
No, it's not it, because you are honestly, I can say this with like zero brags, one of the smartest developers I know. And you're so good at teaching that like anyone would want you on their team because, and it's so like there's so many people that I've streamed with and I'll just have something that I get stuck on. And so many times, or I'll have a question and it won't be what we talked about. Like, hey, we're going to talk about XYZ, but I'll just have a question. And you are just so good in the moment and on the fly of like, let's look at that. Or, let's talk about it. Or let's look that up together. Whereas there's so many people, like really smart devs, but they just are like, we can't talk about that. That's not on the agenda. Like,
I will go down any rabbit hole with you, Alyssa.
So it's not fine. That. I just want you to know that's not it. So it must be, I just thought with remote culture that people were like, branching out because we can diversify now because of remote.
I don't get any really US. I get I probably get at most 4 a month. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, Thindle, that is just that's quite common. You see that, yeah.
WWLD. What would Layla do? Oh my gosh, I used to have one of those bracelets. The what would Layla not Layla do, but what would Jesus do?
Really? You have a bracelet with me on it?
So back in the day when I was a little girl, I had a what would Layla do bracelet.
Creepy.
Layla didn't even know me at the time, but she does now. Got her.
Oh my god, she stalked me for a lifetime.
Last time we were on, I think it was the last time we were on, you had a random cat appear in thine house. Sorry, results. Anyways, let's go ahead and make
black and white cat has just come is in my office. It's just walked into the house. I don't own a cat. There's a cat. I have to go get this cat.
Any more appearances? No.
She's out on the street a lot. She's been on the drive. So she's sort of. I'm having to carry Cookie from the car. I have to carry her anyway at the moment because she's had knee surgery. But I can't. I normally let Cookie and Lily jump out of the car and run into the house. No, I don't know who the cat belongs to. And at the moment, because the cat is quite often on our drive, Lily I could call back, and she's old, so she'll be like, okay, I'm too lazy to run down the street. But Cookie would be gone. Gone, and killing it. Well, in her dreams, she would be. No, Cookie is not on the couch prison. That is to stop Cookie getting on the couch. Who wants to see Cookie in her donut?
We need to. Oh, we're gonna be so sad. Poor Cook. Let's see the sad Cook. Is she upset about the donut? Is she fine with it? What's her thoughts?
She's fine. She's quite sleepy now because we went out for a big walk. She goes in a pushchair.
That is amazing. Is this an alternative to the cone?
Yeah. So because someone has an unbelievably long snout, she could reach her wound even with the cone on. So we now have the donut, and she likes it. She uses it as a neck pillow.
Oh. Hello, Alyssa. I saw you on .NET YouTube video. Oh, hi. That's awesome. I was asked to speak for. I get confused on the name. It was like .NET Conf, not Days. I think that's coming up. I was asked to speak for this. Essentially, it was like a Maui day. And I was going to be on family vacation, so I recorded for them. I was really sad to not be doing it live, but that's really cool. Yeah, Gerald, King Gerald, he messaged me afterwards and was like, "Thanks for the shout out." And I was like, "Anytime, King Gerald." He totally knows. I was in the video. Yes, Scott. Wait, who is Scott then? Because I only know you as Scott with the duck face. This is not helping. Oh no, who are you? So Alyssa, I started looking into Maui. Sadly, though, I haven't come up with a good app idea yet. Oh man, I love it. I think it's so much fun. I think because I am this JavaScript girl in the .NET world, and it was the first thing that allowed me to actually bridge both of those. Shipping with a hybrid app, something JavaScript to other platforms. So that's really fun. But then I'm really excited too about just learning more about Maui basics and without the hybrid part of it. I'm actually really excited to see the differences, because I hear that the whole Blazor hybrid app looks a lot different than a Maui app, or even a Xamarin Forms app, when it's true to itself. So I'm excited to see those differences and keep learning more. But this is kind of a nice segue I wanted to lead into. We're doing a Women of .NET workshop at DevReach, and if you're in the Boston area, oh my gosh, you should totally come and hang out at DevReach with us. But Layla and I and a couple other ladies who are on the Women of .NET committee are going to be teaching a workshop. And so Layla was like, "Ooh, okay, I've got an idea for a text-based adventure game in C#." And so I was like, this sounds really great even for me to learn how we would do something like that. Because Layla, what would the construct be that holds us together? Are we literally just in a C# file, or are we within?
I'm going to show you.
Okay, cool. Because I'm a little
So I built
ponder.
this demo, I think in 2018, and I used it to teach C# to beginners. So I'm just going to go and grab it. But it needs modernizing. I'm just trying to find it.
Napalm, I don't know why you would. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on chat. I
No,
don't know
go
why
ahead.
you would. Why you would ever need a unique idea? That's never plagued me. I'm like, I will do a to-do app any day of the week, just to learn it and be in it and try it. Like it's fun, but I guess I could feel that if everything's been taken.
I'm just trying to find it because
Vendel says I'm not alone in misplacing my files. Yeah, or deleting them. We won't teach it. I have Layla. I got all of the projects I was working on in Maui and like Tailwind and Angular and everything. I got them all on GitHub. I think I got them just so we have like, safety. Have you ever used anything other than GitHub for
Yes, I have.
I've
used Azure DevOps. And then I used SVN. And I think that's about it. I think I've used SourceSafe as well, very briefly.
I think there's one that like maybe is from the same people that make Jira. That's the only other one that I've seen.
That's Gitbucket. And that is still Git based. Yeah. So that's Gitbucket. I have used that as well.
Oh, you're saying these things weren't Git based? Wait, if you're not Git based, what are you?
So SVN, I think you check in and out files, so they're different.
This is so cool. I had no idea this even existed.
And SourceSafe, I think, was the similar sort of thing. So yeah, SVN, you would have all the repos in there and you would check a file out and then no one else could work on it. So yeah. Let me just have a look. I'm still trying to find it. All right, I'm going to have to go through history on GitHub. I know it's fine. I know it's in here somewhere.
Honestly, I recently did this where I was like creating a couple of new repos. And then I went to my repos list and I was like, where are they? I don't know what order GitHub was doing that day, but with some bells and whistles. Oh, what am I missing? SVN is basically a file system that you can commit direct to a server, just copy on the server pretty much. Is it quick? Like speed?
I can't remember. Oh, okay, right. I'm still finding stuff. I should have done this earlier. I just thought, oh, it'll be right there. It will bite me. It's all fine.
A branch is literally a copy of projects in a different folder. Gets so much better. Is it? I wonder, because yeah, I was curious. As soon as you try to branch anything, it's so slow. Okay. Because I was curious about just the speed of things. Git seems like Git has served me well, and I am very, very happy with it, but I've never tried anything else. So it could be something that's more speedy. It just seems to be the common thing that everyone shares or has shared at one point in time. Git won the war. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with anything else really, to be honest.
I gotcha.
Why can I not find this? This is the wrong one. Hang on. We can start again. I just wanted to find it. So on the old Women of .NET site, I had it before we switched to the new layout. So I need to go and have a look at that.
Well, I think Flux, that because he was saying I prefer Azure pipelines to GitHub Actions, but like I think GitHub Actions is like maybe a whole other story, like from versioning. At least in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like a not necessarily like safety for your files.
Oh, right, here we go. History. Okay, we're gonna find it. Okay, it's coming. I'm gonna find it in the history. When did we do that redesign, Alyssa, on the Women of .NET site?
The Women of .NET redesign. Let me see.
Let
me see if I can. It was at least 3 months ago, at least, right?
Yeah, I think so. It could have even been last year.
You think it was that? Wow,
No, maybe
August?
not. I've got hang
Hot
on.
dog.
I've got one here where I've said I've done an update. Completely new site. Here we go. Added a form. So let's have a look at the form. Let me go back. Completely new site. That'll be it. Okay. Okay, found it. So I am going to. I knew I'd find it.
Oh, all right. I did want to mention next week is ngconf. So we're kind of doing JavaScript Girl on a weird day, as some of you may have noticed. And next week I will be out of town in Salt Lake. I'm emceeing for ngconf this year, and I'm also teaching a full day workshop. So
are you excited?
I'm very excited. I think the excitement will set in once I've finished all the content for the workshop, because there's just I've never done this big of one before. It's like saying, I want you to do 8 talks back to back. That's kind of the mentality that I'm trying to, Oh, but also make sure it's more interactive than your normal shindig. So I'm cool, I got this. But honestly, I was super humbled and honored when they asked me to be the MC. ngconf is 1,500 people in the Grand America in Salt Lake, and it's just just gorgeous, amazing, creative, bizarre conference. And when I first started getting into Angular, that ngconf was a big part of that. So it's just been a cool part of my journey, and now I get to be part of the show. So I'm really pumped about
awesome. Alrighty, I have now got
Napalm's asking about the Boston Conf. So Layla and I will both be in Boston in
a couple of weeks.
3? I want to say 3 weeks. For DevReach, and I'll share the link in the chat. So if you're going to be there, in town, if you're in the area, we would love to hang out with you. We're going to be teaching a workshop, and Layla and I are both going to be giving a joint talk, and it's going to be 3 tracks of the JavaScript track, a .NET track, and a Mosaic track with things like accessibility and UI UX and that type of thing. So that is the link. Learn more about it. I went live last Thursday. Yeah, Layla's live all the time.
No, I haven't been live all the time. So I've had a break over the summer. It's just been too hot because we don't have AC, and we've had massive heat waves and stuff like that. I've just been feeling a little bit lacking in energy and motivation and creativity, and I just needed a break. So I started a stream last week, and I'm going to stream again this Thursday, I hope. So in the morning UK time. And then I'm traveling a lot in September, so I'll try and fit in streams around traveling. And then I'm hoping just to pick up regular stream again. So yeah, I'm hoping to get back to streaming more regularly again soon. So Scott, watch out. Thursday AM, people were dropping in, Napalm woke up at 5 a.m. and dropped in and said hi.
Hot dog on a stick.
Yeah. So, you can get up early and watch me over your cornflakes. It's fine.
Your cornflakes.
What do people eat for breakfast?
Oh gosh,
I had Kellogg's Just Right for breakfast this morning.
Oh, so you are a breakfast person. Okay.
Not always. So I do intermittent fasting, and then there are some days I just I wake up and I don't feel like fasting, and this morning was one of those. So sometimes I have scrambled egg on toast, and this morning I just wanted something quick and easy, so I had Kellogg's Just Right. I like it. Tastes nice.
I've never been a breakfast person, at any age. So when I started intermittent fasting, I was like, yeah, I already do that. So it wasn't, I just kind of leaned into it more. So I pushed lunch to 3 p.m. to make my fast window smaller, because I wouldn't normally eat until 1 anyways. So, but Now, hanging out with Ed, he's always like, "Do you want to go get breakfast?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's so early. How are you putting food in your face hole?"
Oh, I'll totally, when I'm traveling, no fasting. I go and eat I'm in the
You
hotel eating
do?
the breakfast buffet.
It's
Ed and I will go get
I
breakfast.
can't. Oh,
I'll
give me
be
all.
like
Yeah, Ed is
shoveling it
right there.
in. Yeah.
And
And
I'm
then
like
yeah.
trying to like hork down like half a waffle, and he's just like, "You okay there?"
No. Okay, Ed, in Boston, you and I can go and eat all the things.
I'll come with. I'll
Because
just drink coffee. It's totally fine. It's totally.
okay, well, I won't eat lunch then, you see, or I might have something really light for lunch. And
Yeah.
I go and eat all the things at breakfast, and then not much at lunch. So
What a wonder it must be to have you. Because like if I eat, I've got a friend who's just like this, and like if we eat at like whenever we eat, that starts this thing in our head where all of a sudden we're starving, and like the rest of the day, I just can't stop thinking about food.
yeah,
So if I
that's
can
how
just
I've been today.
Oh, yes. So if I push off that moment of like initiating that, then I'm just like free to work, free to drink my water.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I'm okay. Like if I do a fast, then I'm fine. And I fast most days, but just some days I just wake up and I'm like, I think also it depends what I eat the night before. So I am prone to acid attacks, and if I had something that might stimulate more acid, I wake up and I feel like I need to eat to quench
that. Yeah, I had that.
the acid.
I actually had that. Me and my sister had that all during pregnancy. It was like constantly like eating to like try and get something. That who was saying breakfast in the US has tons of sugar in the food and tons in the coffee. Yeah. So and then Ed was saying it's hard to avoid it. But like I'm on like week 1. I've started off with a 24-hour fast and then went straight into very strict keto, very clean keto. So I'm starting to feel better. Like at the beginning, I was like very sluggish with the no
keto
carbs,
flu. Yeah.
the keto flu. But I am like sugar free. I'm only having like a little bit of heavy cream in my coffee and just like black otherwise, and doing intermittent fasting, and I'm loving it. I lost. I don't want any judgment for this. Okay, I want zero judgment. I want not a word of judgment from chat. You're being unhealthy. This isn't good for you. I've lost 10 pounds this week. So
this week.
Yeah, this week.
I think that might be water, Alyssa.
I know. I'm still happy about the water being gone from my body.
So what that is the carbs help you store more water, I believe. So when you cut the carbs, you stop the water storage that comes with those, and so you lose
honestly
that.
And
it's
a relief, because like I have like carpal issues, and so like the swelling going down like in any sense is like amazing, like
you might get that on again. So you can't, like, if you gain 5 pounds this week, don't worry about it. That's kind of normal, that sort of big drop, and then you level off, but you still net loss is 5. So always look at the net loss. So like that can happen. I did keto for a long time. So
I am trying my very best, because my father-in-law is a doctor, and he started taking, he's like a PCP, like normal doctor that you go see on the general, and he started taking like nutrition courses because he wants to help his diabetic patients and other things. And he said that he's learning a lot of like things outside of like the doctor realm in these like nutrition classes. And he was telling me that like intermittent fasting is really like healthy for you with or without a coupled diet. And he was telling me about like how like a keto lifestyle is really, there's been a lot of proof of like with like the intermittent fasting, like even things where it's like cancer prevention and things like that, where it's like a healthier way to live. And I get like, I feel that like, even if you're avoiding sugar, I feel like that's a healthier way to live. Somebody in the chat was saying, I wish there was a sticker on things that, yes, like as like, especially like these last, because I was low carb before this, but going strict keto, I'm like, oh dear Lord, like even
everything has sugar.
Lunch meat like that I was looking at over here has like for a serving like 4 carbs, and you're like, 4 carbs of what is this?
So there is it's not the keto as such, it's the low sugar. So there is there's a lot of proof that sugar is the problem, and you have a lot of high fructose corn syrup in the US. I will send you a podcast that Silicon Orchid listened to, and it's the cause of all sorts of things. So it's not and I'm talking about added sugar, not the sugar you get from like rice and potatoes. That's fine. I'm talking about the sugar that's added to everything, that added sugar, that because the high fructose corn syrup, and it's those things that cause the problem. So when you go keto, you happen to cut out all of those more strictly. You're watching for those sugars, and that's why you have those benefits. But you can cut out all added sugar and still have carbs and get the health benefits. But there's nothing wrong with, if you're doing keto and you're managing, making sure that your blood lipids aren't, I did keto with a doctor a few years ago, and cool. I lost, what would it be? It was maybe 60 pounds.
The conversion. You're so good at that.
I'd say 60 to 70 pounds in 4 months. So it like my hair was falling out. It wasn't great. And I had to have a blood test every week. I think as long as you're having checkups, keto is fine. You want to make sure that, you're not having any adverse effects to it because it's quite extreme.
I was saying gained or lost. I was lost.
Lost. Yeah. I'd like to lose that again because that's
where, because I have done keto before for, I think it was like 6 months of keto. And I did lose, but that's where I think trying to transition my mind to like, this is going to be a lifestyle where like sometimes you have ice cream, but then you go back to your normal, like, this is your lack of carbs. This is your like, and so I'm trying.
Yeah, that's the problem with keto. You can't have treat days on keto because you throw yourself out of keto and then you get keto flu. So that's why I don't do keto anymore. I just try to like eat healthy and stuff like that. So yeah.
There was also a side conversation I wanted to talk about a little bit in chat. There were King of Code was saying, talking about different people, like, and how long they've been at coding and programming. And I guess King of Code's been at it for a year. And I think someone was asking Layla, like, how long you've been doing it. She's an awesome coder.
So I have worked professionally in software engineering since January 2016. But I first started coding with ActionScript in 2005, 2006. I did some Objective-C and some C# in like 2008 to 2000. I like dabbled until 2010.
You were so sweet, though.
And then I started to do C# and MVC properly in 2013, teaching myself to do it then. So I'd been doing HTML and CSS since 2006.
I cannot believe that you started with ActionScript too. That's so funny.
Yeah,
That's what they taught us at school was ActionScript, and then we learned JavaScript. So
yeah, so I did Free Code Camp in 2013 to teach. To learn JavaScript and C# for my Pilates online Pilates booking system, which Silicon Orchid built. And then he said, well, now you have to learn and maintain it. So I then started learning. And then the whole of 2015, I put myself through my self-imposed boot camp with C# books that I took everywhere. I went on learning as much as I could so that I could transition to a career in tech in 2016. So yeah, I've been coding a long time.
I think you just like have one of those brains though, because it does seem easier for you than a lot of people I know to just kind of jump into context of something different, something new. And so I don't know, I admire that in you. Or maybe did you cultivate that, or have you always been that way?
No, it has. I'm a very, 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 very fast learner. And it's been that way all my life. I am very fortunate that I am able to pick up things.
That's so I literally have been like, I'll Google something, and I've done this a couple times in my life, and I'll find an article and I'll read it and I'll be like, oh, that's so helpful. and I'll copy the code from the article and use it. And then I will realize I wrote the article and published it. I'm not even kidding you. And sometimes my dad, he gives me this look and he's like, I think it was that concussion you got when you were a little kid. He's like, because like they'll be like, yeah, remember that Christmas we did this? I'm like, no. They'll be like, hey, remember when we went and saw that movie Saturday? I'm like, I don't really remember what the movie was about, but I remember we went. Like, and it's the same with code. Like, if I'm not on the day to day, like doing it, like I have to look it up. It's just something that has to be.
I would love to be able to forget things. So I have. My memory is both a blessing and a curse because I will go over things from the past. And I'm like talking things that happened 20, 25 years ago or something. And I'll be like, why did I do that? Why did I say those things? Why did I behave in that way? And I can remember the clear details. I can remember conversations word for word. Wow. So the only thing I am pretty crappy at learning, okay, is languages. I'm not very good at languages. The only thing I have, because of my exceptional memory, I can program them in, and I can sort of get them that way. I have tried several things at times, and I can't. I'm terrible at languages, and I absolutely cannot, 100% can't read music.
Oh yeah, no, I totally tried that. I was in choir for many, many years, and it's called You Fake It.
Yeah.
I would have a friend sing me the song because we'd be in these competitions and she'd sing the song. And then I would and then I'd have it down after the first, but I have to hear it. Like I would look at the sheet music and I'm like, well, I see the notes go up here. So I'm going to see.
No, I can't.
Sheet music.
I can't read music. I can't hold a tune.
God,
I sound like a cat being like butchered whilst alive. I'm not. No, there's nothing musical about me.
That's so cool though that you can read it. Like that's definitely cool.
I can read it. Yeah, I just
that's fun. So I definitely you show us something. I want to see because I'm a little lost in my head as far as how you even get started with a text.
All right, we're gonna do it now. Okay, I found the doc, so we're gonna add that in. I'm gonna share my screen now. I'm on my big screen, folks. Let me see how it looks. If not,
so cool. I tried. I tried. My dad got me one. And I was like a preteen, and he got me one because I loved it so much. And he just gave me a how to play violin book, and for hours, just like trying to teach myself the violin. It went so poorly.
I tried the piano and I tried the oboe, and it was a drastic failure. I really want to be musical. I want to be,
and I want to be artistic too. That's one thing I've tried.
Yes, Ed, I have code up. I have the readiness to do code. I'm going to share my screen.
By deleting our code today. Yes, actually. That's
all right.
Layla, we're going to start off today by deleting all of your code.
Yep, totally that. I've already deleted it, so we're ahead. Okay, done. Here's one I deleted earlier. So this is on my widescreen. I think I'll change the aspect ratio. But
does it bother you? Like widescreen seems, those are adorable. Does it bother you? Seems like it'd be hard to work with such a wide.
Oh no, I love my widescreen, but it's just not great for folks. Tell me, do you want me to change I think we should change it. Let me
change what?
Come in the aspect ratio. So.
Oh, I don't care. You do what you think is best, and I am here for the learnings. Right, did you get a 49-inch, Layla? Is what Napalm's saying?
This is I've had this for like 4 years. This is my 38-inch ultra wide Dell. Hi, Feel Snable. Okay, so we are going to make a new folder. So what would you like to call this, Alyssa? Should we have this modern workshop?
Oh yeah. That's good.
I just asked you and then just told you. What would you like to call it?
Well, I think wide and workshop makes more sense because then it can like expand. Because I was going to go with something about like the game itself, but like
So we're
we
gonna.
might be teaching multiple things beside that.
All right. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna make one.
Bob. You sound like my husband. He'll name anything Bob. Like we have 2 lamps in our house named Bob, and we have automation. So it's like turn on Bob, turn off Bob, turn on baby
So
Bob, turn off baby Bob. Yeah.
we have recently restarted playing Skyrim because there's sort of games to play. And do you want to know what our character's called? Our
Bob.
dark wood elf, Stabby Bobby. It makes me laugh every time. It's like
it's such a like British Bob. Like you had it's just
Stabby Bobby's Dremora Lord.
Oh my god. I love that game. Like love that game. Like that one and then Minecraft modded, so it's like a lot harder and cooler. Like those two I just amazing pastimes. And I can't wait till my son gets old enough cuz like I really 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 look forward to gaming with him. That's something I we went to McDonald's and we're getting I love their iced coffees without like sugar, just black. And so I was going to get there and he loves the play place. And so we were going there and he was asking me about like the puddles on the ground from the cars. And so I'm like the employee brings me a coffee and is like listening to this bizarre conversation with my 3-year-old about me teaching about condensation and why it happens. Because he looks so interested. He's like, but why? Why is this happening to our world? There's water.
It's coming from the sky. It's coming from everywhere.
But no, I can't wait. I can't wait to do more things with him as he gets older. Okay, so you made the dir and
I've just added a .NET New Console. Okay. So .NET New Console.
So console apps, are you listing out the architecture here? So we've got the proj file and then just the program CS and that's it.
Yeah, I should probably have called this something different, but we'll leave it a code. I can always rename it. I'll rename it in a second.
Are you raising a scientist? You would think so. He was like asking about how electronics work the other day. And so Zach was like, when you're older, you can even build electronics. And he said, why older? And Zach was like, oh, you know what? I guess you could start now. And so he pulled up some YouTube videos about how like wires work and was like showing him that. So I don't know. He's just insanely curious. So what's the OBJ? What's the obj?
Okay, so adventuring. This is what we're going to call it. Okay, so you've got these 2 things. When you build a project, you get stuff put in the bin and you get stuff put in the obj. So this is like obj. You can delete these. So they don't get put to source control because you can. Okay, they're gone. Like I can delete them. That's fine. And then if I come back down to my terminal,
are you writing .NET and Visual Studio Code?
Yeah,
that's so cool. I didn't know we could do that.
If I clear that, you can see I'm here, and I'm gonna just go .NET.
Dang it, Ed! You don't need to remember. Okay, famous last words he said. But Visual Studio Code just moves it to trash. Like it's nice about it. Unlike Visual Studio.
So I just built it. You can see they're back again. Okay, so it's just things that the compiler. So here's my executable. So like I can run my executable and the obj is just like stuff it uses. You can see it's got like the NuGet stuff, the JSON stuff. It's just, you don't need to worry about it.
This is so cool. Can we, oh my gosh. So text-based adventure game. Can you tell me what that is? Because I was imagining like ASCII art and hang on.
Yeah, we can totally have ASCII art in here. So where like when I ran this course one time, I did it with the girls code group, and one of the little girl, she was 11 at the time, she built a whole thing about waffles and going somewhere. So she had waffle ASCII art on it and everything. So people can make it themselves.
Okay. Like so have you heard of Candy Box? I want to know if this is actually, I'm going to share real quick. I want to see. Oh yeah, you pulled up. Perfect. Yes, that's. So is this a text? Because like you click on things and then things happen, and sometimes you see like an ASCII little world. Oh no, wait, what? I thought this was text-based adventure. No, I'm so confused.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, let me go and find
I
folks.
was like, we're building a candy box.
What did I play on a BBC? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm showing my age here. I'll be quiet.
Thanks, God. I love that game. I think it's so much fun. But also, I really thought it was text-based adventure. So now I'm like really confused.
I mean, it sort of is. Let's go see BBC Micro. Let's see in here. Okay, so this is like, you were on the bridge. The lighting is dull red. The batteries are running down, and the room is full of computer screens, control panels, little twiddly buttons, and all kinds of interesting, expensive, and totally incomprehensible things.
Yeah.
Visible exits west. You see a pile of dead Venusians.
This
What
reminds
now?
me of D&D. Is this essentially D&D?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically can be. Okay, so what we can do, we have our CS proj, which you should be used to, and we're saying output type is an executable. So that's saying it's a console app. .NET 6. And now if I run this before we do anything, so let's have a look in here. So I've got console.writeLine.
Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I can't wait to just write stuff in it and make it do stuff.
So we can do .NET run. Okay, and now it's going to run and it's done hello world. Okay, so we've started and that's here. So if I come and change this to hello Alyssa, save it, and then we come back down here.
So I'm kind of seeing this like, so you got these prompts and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure, and then you've got these like branches, and my first thought is, oh God, how do we organize so that we like, because it's like, okay, like you need to make sure like if they go off on this branch and then you're asking them these questions that each one has its own correct path. Is there a way of organizing a like file, like your CS file, so that
you can just, that's why it's quite nice to teach how you can abstract and create classes and stuff like that. So yeah, only on Windows. Well, I think Connie did it on a Mac as well. So I think there's something you can do with it to make it run on Windows.
because King was asking about exe. Is that Windows only? Hang on, I'm on a Mac. Let me generate one.
I have run this console apps fine on Macs, but I can't remember what it does and how it does it. But I have done it.
To that, and then it's .NET new
console.
Just console. Oh, I should make a dir first. Make dir. I love this make dir on Windows too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of the things. We don't have touch, so I always have to look up, like, I can't do like touch text.txt. I don't know what it is. I can never remember it.
Okay. So it is cdn. I did that, and so .NET new console. I don't know if that's gonna be proper. Ooh, it's doing things though.
And then .NET run.
And then I've got the CS file, the proj file, just like you, an object folder, just like you, and it says hello world. And so if I open this in this code, you're seeing tailwindy stuff, main screen. This one, it says exe. I'm confused. You said that was.
So it's just, it will run because you've got the .NET runtime on there. I guess it knows what to do with it.
So that's funny. So exe is supposed to be Windowsy only, but it's just working for us.
I don't know how it works, but it's
okay. I'm happy. It works and it looks the exact same. So I'm like, done. Like, woohoo!
So it will work. It crosses.
So yes, we.
All right. So now we've got this. Okay. So things that we can do. All right. Hello. We're gonna do hello. What is your name? Okay, and this is how we can start it, and then we can go like console.read line, And then we can go, I don't know why it doesn't like my console. I think it's because the thing. So we can have var name equals that, and then we can go.
Oh my gosh, it's just var. Whoa. I said, oh my gosh, it's just var. Like that's.
Yeah, we used var. I can make it string. So we can go. Let me make this bigger. Oh, maybe not that big. Okay, your name is.
But you don't have. You guys don't have let, right?
We don't have what?
Let.
No, we don't have let. No.
Okay.
Because we don't have like the same sort of scoping issues that you have. So we can do that now. Because we've already got that scoping built in. If I do .net, I always do that .net run.
Do we have name forever?
Only in the context of this file. So now I can go like that. So now that's the start.
So if like later on in this file we're writing more stuff, I can still reference name. It still exists. Yep.
Okay. So, what do I need? Using system. I shouldn't have to.
What?
Because
what? Is he saying that that would fix your underline thing? Is that what?
Yeah, it's because I'm using implicit usings. So this is, it's fine.
Hey,
hi, Code with Sean. Oh, look, we're like synchronized. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Oh my goodness, that's such a we can totally add that in. But this is kind of how we can build it. And so some of the things we've got to think about is like we can put some patterns in and let people sort of go wild. We can talk about a loop. So if we go, all right, you're a D&D-er. So tell me what would we like to ask someone? Like, what color is your tunic or something? So I'm just
so I think we should definitely find out like what kind of class they are, but we should give a limited number of classes. So we could give them, I don't know honestly how text-based works. So we could give them options and be like, which one would you like wizard, barbarian, like elf, I don't know, like random things. And then or we could be like actually prompt them like with one-offs of like, do you like magic? Yes, no. And then like kind of decide for them which one they are.
All right. So we can try that. Do you want, which one would you prefer to do?
Which one? Oh, it'd be cool to give multiple options if we can.
All right. So now there are, I can't remember how we do this, but there are Nuget libraries. And Matthias Carlson, dev lead, works on it. He is always telling me to use this cSharp console Nuget. And it's got a cool name. Folks, what is the cool name for the console? CLI tools Nuget.
Dindle said, oh yeah, the coloring one.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like called Black Magic or something. If I go Twitter, maybe it's on Matthias's dev lead. Does he talk about it? We might have to ask him in time. So he's always telling me to use this cool library. Here we go. No, that looks like that's not it. I thought that was it. But it's a cool NuGet package that allows you to do colors and allows you to select, have multiple. I don't think that is it, Scott.
Template.
So you can use arrow keys to select different options and things like that. So we could teach that one, but let's just think about some basics that we would want people to learn. So if we're using this as a teaching aid, I'm not sure, is it console tools? I didn't think it was that. I thought it had another name, but maybe it is. That is quite cool. Oh yeah, this could be cool. Maybe that is it. I
Oh,
thought it had a
nice. Oh,
fancier
look at how
name.
many things you have. So what, I don't understand what this is that I'm looking at. This is a library for your console apps?
So this is a NuGet package that we could install. And it would give us these types of, like, this is what you wanted, wasn't it? Like, yes, no, escape. And it has all
Yeah.
of that built in.
Oh.
So we
How do you
could
implement that? Like, can you click on that and it shows us the code to implement that? Is it like, I'm assuming
well,
just clean,
do you want to
like
have
a
a go
cleaner
at
way?
doing
Oh, it'd
this?
be so fun. Yeah.
Okay,
Unless
so
you think that's like cheating.
no, what it could be a nice way to teach people about how that there's, you can bring in a package. So if we're, as I say, we're using this as a so we're going to like using NuGet, so we can bring in console tools.
You're right, Napalm. You're right. And like, of course, standing on the work of others, like that's what everyone does all the time. There's a point when you start teaching that you have to ask yourself, am I bringing this
Too
in too
much.
soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
I think we probably
understanding the
want to put
basics
this further down.
is super important. Like of what you like, for instance, I learned Angular way too soon. And I struggled for a long time of, is that a JavaScript tool or is that an Angular tool? And so I think I just want to avoid that. But at the same time, there's there's always going to be like a point where like for someone else where it's too soon, but for some, but for somebody else, they could have used it earlier. So, but yes. So like what we get, I think it'd be great to like cover the basics of what tools we have in our arsenal just by default that are pretty easy to reach in a console-based app. For instance, you just showed us how we can store a variable. You showed us how we can reference that variable later. You can show how we write and read lines. But I think we should take it a little bit further, like of how do we group these things so that they're like you were talking about classes, and if there are any other tools. So if a multi-select option isn't an easy grab, what is an easy grab that we can just use?
I think a nice thing, now I'm going to sort of show you the things I think we should cover. How, so we've asked them what their name is. How many eyeballs do you have? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we're going to ask them that. And then we are going to say, all right, so we're going to use it this way. String number of eyeballs, and we'll see, like, I am open if chat thinks this is too early. Number of eyeballs is equal to that. Okay, is equal to console dot readline.
No, man, like 3 eyeballs could mean you've like got that third one that like looks into the inner self, and maybe you're a wizard, right? Like could be a figure of speech. I think odd number of eyeballs is totally fine.
Okay, so we can have so we've got number of
could we have, because I feel like we're collecting data about the user, should we have an interface or some sort of base user object that's getting populated, or is that not a console
we can
thing?
Totally get that, but we're teaching beginners right now. So right now we've got a string, and we don't want to teach them how to do string comparisons and things like that. That's magic. I have nothing against spiders. Okay, they have eyes in the back of their head. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is go int. I'm going to just call number of eyeballs string, and we're going to go number of eyeballs, and we're going to say this is an int is equal to int dot try pass, and we are going to pass in the number of eyeballs. Okay, so we now got a different type. So now we've told them like types, because that's a big thing in C# is that we have types. We've got a string now, and we've got an int. So we can be now try pass will either return the number of eyeballs, or it will return what does it turn? It will true. Okay, so we need an out, and I think we can have an out on here. Yes, we can have out int right is number. Okay,
Are you saying so if I type like THREE, that's going to hit the out one? And
So let me just see, what is its problem now?
Bool to int.
Why is it having its little? It's probably
no,
just
it's very helpful, Findle.
what
Int is a number can be removed.
Oh yes, no, this needs to be a bool. Yeah, that's right. There we go. Thank you. So we're gonna teach them a little bit about typing and some things in here. All right. So just bear with me, Alyssa. I know you're looking at me like,
I'm with you. I'm just trying to figure out what out is gonna do for us, but I assume it's like if it's not an int, then go ahead and put it over here.
All right. So if is number, okay. All right. We're gonna say, let me just grab so lazy console.writeLine. Let me just make that not JavaScript here. Console.writeLine, and we'll say you have, and we can go many eyeballs. Okay, we can do some more stuff with this as well. We should. Now, can we do number of eyeballs? I'll just copy that because I'm not getting IntelliSense here. And that will automatically put it to string for us. Otherwise, else, we can say
our if and else are only options with if statements.
We can have finally. We can have if else.
Okay.
You can have console.writeLine, give me an actual integer. Okay, so now we've got quite a lot going on here, but what we've taught are a couple of things that we have as that these are strings. Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. So we're now getting a string. So we're teaching types, and now we've got a bool. And this is going to tell us, can I convert what you've said to a number, an integer? And if I can, and I do it, you're going to give me out, okay? And you're going to give me what that number is as an integer. So I'm going to show you it running because that might help, okay?
Well, on the if is number, could you also say like if we have an out? Like,
oh no. So the is number, this is a bool. So this is going to be true or false. So we're saying basically, if this is true, we're going to get a number. This will be an int.
I thought it was returning, like I thought what that was saying is try parse is like if it can parse it, it's going to give us that number on is number. Otherwise, something weird's going to happen without. But you're saying it's just giving back a true or false?
Basically, so you've got two things you're going to get from this, okay? You're going to find out is number is, so a general convention when you do bools in C# is to make it, is it something, is number. So that would be is, I'm going to change it to make it even more simple. Is it, is it a number? Okay. So now we have that. We're going to say, is it number, true or false? All right. Number of eyeballs is going to be an int. We'll only get this if this is true, if it can pass it. Now, I'm going to just run it because I'll explain it as it goes, okay? Because I think that will help. So let's go. .NET run. So what is your name? So are we going to go with Alyssa? And Alyssa, how many eyeballs do you have?
3, for sure.
3. You have 3. Okay. So that I can't pass that. I don't know what that is. That's characters. That's not a number. All right. Should we try that again?
Do the prompt again though, right? So like in the else, we should. How do you initiate it again? I'm a little lost.
Yeah,
like
we can do that.
Oh, okay.
So we can loops and do stuff. So we're gonna just try these things. So, we're just building on it. Hello, Alyssa. How many eyeballs? Now, if I do 3, you have 3 many eyeballs. You have 3 many eyeballs. Such
3
great.
many eyeballs. Please don't ever change that. It makes me so happy. Oh God.
So
okay.
what happened there is when we did it the first time, we had 3. Okay.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know what to do with that. That doesn't correlate and look like an integer. So this is false. This cannot be made into an integer. It doesn't understand the words. So that's why it said, is it a number? No, it's not. So it's false. Okay. And we wouldn't have, if I come in here, I'm pretty sure number of eyeballs won't be anything because you can't have a null in. It might have a, let me just do.
Oh, wait. So out int number of eyeballs, just like King was saying, like that's where it's putting the variable like that we were given.
Yeah.
I assumed out was like if everything fails, like if you can't parse it.
No, this is what you get out of it if it's successful. Sorry if that wasn't clear. So if this is successful, so you can do something else. Okay, you can have int parse. All right. Now, if I do int parse, I don't get an out. Okay. And this should be, so this is going to
and then it would be like instead of a bool, it will actually be the thing.
It would be an int. But what happens now when we do this? It's probably going to blow up. Okay.
Why would it blow up?
Because it can't pass that. It doesn't know.
Well, because like if it is an int, it's going to put it into that is number variable. So if is number exists, it'll write the line, right? And we just have to replace number of eyeballs with is it a number?
I think this is going to blow up. Let's try.
Okay. Excited. Done it run.
Oh,
boom. What?
It's because it can't do this. Let's just.
It can't check the existence of something. See, that's a very big difference because in JavaScript it'd be like.
No, it's fine. It's this bit here. Is it a number? Is not null. I don't know. It can't be. It's not going to be that because it can't be null. Is. I don't know. We'll do that just to get it going. All right, let's go. So, .NET Run. All right. It's Alyssa. How many eyeballs do you have? 3. Unhandled exception. Boom, it blew up. So, what we would have to do in this case is because it's a parse, we would have to do a try. Okay, and
try catch.
Okay. So if we did that, catch. All right, we can say on exception X, and then we could do console.writeLine that. Okay, so what we have available to us rather than doing a try catch is that we have an API that does that for us. So we have the bool.
So Scott was saying that inside an if you have to have a true false condition, but you're saying that like the number 3 is not truthy by saying this.
Yeah, because it doesn't know what if 3. Okay, you can't. It just doesn't know that.
I see, because I use that all the time in JavaScript of like existence is truthy. So like if it's not null, like for instance,
yeah, you can do that.
Oh,
but
not with if.
Non-nullable.
Ints are non-nullable.
So it's always going to be a truthy statement. So that's why to make that work is equal to 0. I made it a truthy statement. That's either going to be true or false. Okay.
But it was still ticked off about an unhandled exception with your changing it to a truthy statement.
It would never have got here because it was going to be, we need the out. So here we have to have the out int, and that is number of eyeballs. So we can do the try catch using this API. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that.
I see.
So it happens to be that ints are non-nullable, but some types are nullable. So a string
cool.
can be null. All right. So
Oh.
if I declare, so if we have int my int, it cannot be null. Okay. It's like, no, that can't be null. All right. But if I turn that to string, that's okay. But it's going to say, it's never used, so it's fine. But it's perfectly happy with string being null. Okay.
That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah. So there are things that can be null, and like bools can't be null, ints can't be null. There's lots of different things. All right. So, you know, there's there are nullable types and non-nullable types, and there's this thing as well. If we have a look in here, you see we have nullable. So there is a thing that we can do to make things, I think it should work, int my nullable int equal to null. That should be okay. All right, because by putting the question mark after this, I've said this int can now be null.
Oh, cool. Oh, wait, is that a big no-no though? Like, should I not start throwing that around everywhere?
You'd have to have a reason why you needed it to be null. And I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you can do that with non-nullable types. But there is a thing with this nullable. I could, if I disable that, I think this will say so let me just see .NET build. Is that gonna, oh no, it's okay. So these nullable types came in a few years ago, and I can't remember. They'll make things blow up in that. All right, I am going to have to put using system up here because it's driving me mad, all the squigglies. I shouldn't have to. But there we go. So you can see as soon as we do that. Now, what we could do is, sorry, Thindle. Thindle was having a little meltdown at it. Okay, it's fine.
Scott said if you want to export data to a file, for example, you don't want any text in a field when there's nothing null. Otherwise, an integer would make it write out 0 by default.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's lots of reasons why, you know, you might do things and you know, stuff like that. So we've started building it up. Now, if you wanted a place to store all of these things, we could do exactly what you said, which is let's go and make a character. So we can go and
you're doing another file. That seems scary.
Yeah. Oh, we don't have to, but because of the way this works, it's cleaner. And it's good to teach that you can do that. Okay. So we're going to go user.cs. All right.
Yes.
Now we're going to have, I'm going to see if we can get away without a namespace. Public class user. All right, so I'm trying to use Visual Studio Code because it's lightweight, but it does things I don't like. And I have to remember everything because it doesn't give me a hand at all. Right. It's like, you're on your own, Layla. And it's like,
yeah, it totally does.
So like now I'm going to have to fully write out everything. So if we have a public string name, and we're going to get, and I'm going to set, oh, it did do it for me. Thank you. And because I'm really lazy, I'm just going to copy this and do an int. I'm going to have number of eyeballs. Okay. All right. So now we've got a user. Yay, we have a user. So we can sort of talk about how you can make containers for things. So we can bring our user in and we can come up here. And it has to be above this.
At this point, should we keep everything you've written and like either comment it out or duplicate it down below, and then like that way it's like stages of like this is stage 1 of where we want to get to, and then
we can totally do that. But it's also nice, we'll have this written out in stages, so I think it's nice to show people that they can go and change their code, they can go and update it, they can go and do it. So up here we're going to have, but also I'm trying to show you the workshop, and then we can go through
start organizing the chunks. Yeah.
and see, we can have some prepared earlier. We can have a play. We can show some demos with the NuGet packaging. So if people are more confident and they've done a bit of coding, they may want to go on and do the NuGet. If people are really like, this is my first time ever coding, this is going to blow their minds. Okay.
Right.
So we're going to go like a user. We don't have to, this could be like a var user equals new user. Okay. And I'm going to also go var another user equals new user. Okay. And I'm also going to go user.
Wait, I'm confused.
I'm just showing you some different ways to create another.
You didn't do a using or anything. How does it know about this file?
Because if you look what who said it? Scott.
About top level statements?
This is top level statements.
Who is? What is? What?
A new way with .NET 6. We have top level statements. This is the minimal hosting pattern. So we don't have to have namespaces. We can, but we don't have to. And I don't want you. So that's another way. And we can probably do a user non-instantiated user. And we can also do user null user is equal to null. So these are all the ways that I can create a user.
Does this mean that in our CS proj, though, there's something that says everything in this root directory knows about itself?
That's just .NET 6. We don't, there's nothing in our
CS proj. .NET is saying that?
Or cSharp 10. So it's the language version we're using.
What if I put user in a user folder? Would my program CS still know about it?
No, we'd have to add a using statement. So if I come over here, well, if you put it in a user folder, that would be fine, because the compiler doesn't care about how you organize your folder, your files. The only time it's going to care is if I come up here and go namespace, my name space. Okay, now it's going to care. And when I do that, it's going to be like, okay, so now I have to go here using my namespace. Okay, so now I have to use that, and then it's happy again. If I don't have it, I don't need it. Okay, so I can come back here. Now, what you said was if I put it in a folder. Okay, so let's try that. So I'm going to have a folder. Let's call it models. I move that in here. Doesn't care. So the compiler.
Did you rerun it, or is it?
Oh, I can tell it doesn't care, but we can run it. It's because we've got some stuff in here, you know, because we've got nullables.
Still asked what's your name, so it still got to that. Yeah. Okay, so
it doesn't care, because when you do stuff in Visual Studio, it auto creates your namespaces for you. So this might be why it's confusing, which is another reason why I do it in Visual Studio Code. So if I go in Visual Studio and I create models, okay, it is going to go, and this is what it's going to do. Namespace, and it's going to say adventuring models. Okay, that's what it's going to call the namespace by just a default, because Visual Studio is set up to try and help you. Because what it looks at is the project is called adventuring. So the master, and this is the way it sort of you would have to have namespaces. So it would do some namespacing stuff for you. So it would create the whole namespace adventuring. And then based on your folder system, you can say, all right, I'm going to help you organize things, and I'm going to look at your file structure. You just added a directory called models, so everything in there is going to be in the namespace adventuring.models. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It's still kind of a little bit black magic-y. Like I feel like I will find a way as I create my adventure game to like essentially fool .NET. So it's like, I don't know what you did or where you did it. And I'm going to be like, oh, I need a namespace now. But because it still feels like I don't really understand the rules of like how .NET knows where to look for what.
You don't really need to know that. That's all. You just need to know that namespacing is there to help you scope things. So in JavaScript, you might scope things and you do your export, don't you? You do at the bottom of your JavaScript file, you do like export.module equals whatever the name is. Yeah. And then when you come to your class and you say you've got another file and you're like, well, I've got code over here. And I want to, I'll show you what we just saw from Scott there in a second. So when you're in JavaScript world, you have this file. Now, when you have this file over here and you want to use the code that you wrote in here, the methods, how do you tell this file about this file?
You have to import it or make it aware of it somehow. It depends on what kind of project you're doing.
That's exactly what we're doing here. This is that file, okay? And in this one, I'm saying, hey, you need to know about the stuff in this file. That's all it's doing. Exactly the same as you have in JavaScript. Now, when I don't do this, what's going on behind the scenes is that what they did with C# 10 was they did this top level statements, and they've just got this massive big namespace, and all the code in the file knows about everything else. It's all just like using var in JavaScript everywhere. Everything knows about everything. Okay. So that's it. But
is that in everything? Like, I guess so. Like everything now has that on by default. Like no matter what kind of project I'm running, like that's.
Oh, well, if you do like an MVC app or a web API, if it's probably not going to be a minimal hosting model. So it would still have a lot of namespacing. But this is like what they tried to do with doing this was make it closer to Express, Node Express, and make it more accessible to developers from other ecosystems.
That's funny because I don't think anyone wants to be like Node, but.
But what they wanted to do was just make it more familiar without all the ceremony of having a lot of things. So what Scott is talking about is if I go and add, you can, not in here, you can call it whatever you want. So a good convention is to call it global usings. I don't have to, okay? So this now, global usings, okay? And this works because, do you see I've got implicit usings enabled? All right. Okay, so now I've got global usings.
Is implicit usings saying, yes, I want top level statements? Is that what that is?
It's saying I'm going to, so implicit usings means that this, I don't need this, okay? Now, if I open this in, I'm going to show you, all right? If this was Visual Studio, there wouldn't be a squiggle under console right now, okay? Because I have told this to use implicit usings, which means all of the usings, the normal usings that we use, the most common, which is like system and all of those, you're just going to assume that I want them, okay? And I'm not going to have them all listed at the top of my file because you can assume that I'm going to want an int and a string because
I see.
All right. So if I turned that off, if I came in here and said in my CS proj and said disable, then this file would be going, wait, what
because you need to actually specify. So that makes sense. Okay.
And so let me.
So can we, when we teach this, can we ignore like that's like a new feature and just teach it like it's normal, and then like if we ever run into an issue where we need usings, bring it in at that point?
So we can touch on it for sure. So I'm going to do a second part, which is going to be like the top level statements and minimal APIs. I can talk about it then. So we can ignore it in this first
until then.
workshop.
Well, if we do include the NuGet package, will that bring in a need for usings, or
it will? So
okay.
But we can add it at the top. We don't need to do it. We can just put it up here and that's
Okay.
fine.
And then just be like,
So,
and now we have it. I
yeah.
see. Okay.
And now you see all the user is squiggly because I've namespaced it. Okay, so I can either add it here. So using whatever that was. Okay. So we can come over here and go, all right, that's happy.
You ever have to do like a dot slash, dot, dot slash, dot, dot, dot,
No.
dot? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that?
No.
Okay.
You can, there are some things that you can do, and I'll show you that in a minute. But what we can do is go in here, global. All right. And this is new. This is with cSharp 10. And now, see, it's happy now. So
when we do, like, we'll call him tool guy. When we nugget our tool guy, we can just say global using tool guy, and then we won't have to use it every file.
No, we'll just put it in here. So we'll have global using console tools. Okay, we can just do it.
I see. Okay.
All right.
It's so funny. So it's because it's how you named it. Like if we named global usings like Alyssa's usings, it's not going to know that's where my global usings are.
Yeah,
and like
these are, you see, these are blue. That means that they are reserved words. Okay. So it knows.
Oh, so I don't have to put global using in this file.
You have to put it in this file. This is absolutely what you must do.
I see.
If you're going to put it in this one.
Okay.
You're telling it that this using is globally available. And what is happening secretly behind the scenes is that system and all those others are in a hidden global using. Okay. So they're all hidden. But when we want to custom add them, we can make as well. And this can be, honestly, this can be called Bob. Okay. It doesn't care. There's nothing special about the name. What is special is when the compiler comes through and it's gathering all its things and its little fingers are going in every file. It goes, oh, okay, global using, everything can have that.
So I could put that in our program CS.
You could.
But it's just not kosher.
It'll be fine, but I haven't tried that because no, it doesn't like it. No, it doesn't like it. So it needs to
it was
be
unhappy.
It wasn't. I mean, that could just be Visual Studio Code. I'd have to see it in Visual Studio. Right. I haven't tried it, but I think it should be okay. I actually think it shouldn't be a problem, because it's just a CS file at the end of the day. There should be no reason why you couldn't put that somewhere else. Okay.
I see.
So now you don't want to global space all the things because maybe
Isn't that what top level statements are doing by default?
No, they are. But I have now I have my super specific class. I mean, we're going off topic here. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. It's fine. Okay. I have my super specific thing. Okay. And I've got public class, my super specific class. Okay. And in here I've got like public, let's go string Alyssa's password. Okay. All right. Now, do I want everything to have access to Alyssa's password?
No, so you just like make it private, is what you're saying?
No, because then no one will see it. So what I go is I can go namespace. Now I've got my global usings. Remember, namespace. Let's go. Let's just call it secret stuff. Okay. Now I don't want to add that to the global usings. I only want it in this file. So I just go using that. And that means only this file will know about that. Not every file.
Like with our tool that we're going to use, does this make it lighter weight? So like if I'm like, I'm only using this tool in this file, or will there be tree shaking later? So even if
there's always been tree shaking, this doesn't make any difference.
Oh, okay.
So that's already been handled. That's been around for quite some time, the tree shaking, and it's kind of with .NET Core. So since like 20.
So it's less about worrying about like speed and bulkiness, and it's more about privacy.
No, it's more about just not having 30 usings at the top of your thing. So if I open up, okay, let's just go and have a look at it. All right, let's just come in here. So this is, one I've been using. All right, now this isn't too bad. I've got these here. But if I go maybe in here, these aren't too bad. But, if I probably don't need all of these in here because I'm going to need them in every file. And I could move these into a global. And I can also do this. So I can do that. And now that's a class scoped. Yeah, this is it. Findle saying back in the olden days, we had 30 plus using files. Okay. So I have been into things where you come in. All right. Okay. In like some really complex code. And you're like, and then so you've had to scroll. Okay. So you open this and you're like,
oh my God, that's so funny. Okay. I see. Yeah. So it's about reducing that. That makes sense.
It's just about making it a little bit nicer. Okay. And again, like you saw what I had here. We've got this scoped namespace. Now, if I don't have any other namespaces in here, now when I come in here, everything is indented, everything. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need that. So what they introduced was this file scoped namespaces. And now because I've done that, you see, I haven't got all that indentation. How much nicer is that? Just to read and use.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they did is say, if everything in this file is all going to be in the same namespace, we're going to give you this file namespace. And that's where you can just put this. Okay.
Okay. I thought, so is this the whole crux behind minimal APIs or no?
So it's minimal hosting. So there's two.
This is minimal hosting? Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. Okay, so the talk I'm actually giving at DevReach is about this. So I do a comparison. Let me open this up. That's my calendar. Why have I got my calendar open? If I come in here,
I don't think it sounded like gatekeeping at all. Findle, I think you're way too much in your head, man.
You are very hard on yourself. You
gotta shut that voice up. Anytime it talks, you just kind of roar at it with a venom face. That's what I do.
Right. So this here is, oh God, I have to open it in code.
Look at all these fun bits. You have so many fun bits.
All right, so we're gonna go CD talks. Oh no, escape talks.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I got like these different voices in my head, and there's definitely a Venom Alyssa in there that shuts everyone up. You all should get a Venom version of yourself. It's very helpful, I find.
Right. So let me open this code dot. Okay. So this is the talk, sneak peek at my talk. All right. So what I want to show you is if I come in here.
Are you writing? Are you writing your talking code? What am I looking at? Are you so cool, Layla? Okay. Do you write all your talks in code now? What is happening?
No. This talk is going to be given entirely in VS Code. Okay. It's a new format.
Upping your game. What the frick?
This is a whole new experiment for me. It could fall
for
flat on
slide
its face.
things, like, okay, I want to introduce this thing that you're walking through Markdown. Can you show me how that?
And I can close this side. So, hey, this is what we're going to talk about today, folks. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Mind blown. Anyway.
Yeah, I know you are. Sorry, I'm back. I'm here.
All right. So what we used to have, okay, this is minimal top level hosting. Okay. This is what we had. And this is also global usings, okay, and implicit usings. All right. So we've got a whole load of stuff. This is just to get started. All right. And then we're in here in our namespace. Now we're in program.
Yeah.
And again, this is like building stuff. And I have to have this startup. Now, look, you see?
But how are you going to show the difference? Are we going to go to a new
I'm gonna-
code base? Do you
I'm
have
gonna
another
show you.
file name startup?
Stop
How are you
worrying
going
about the talk. I am showing you the things.
Sorry, I'm totally here with you. Not worried about how you're making this really cool top.
Don't you worry. I'm just showing you what we had. Okay. So you can see this is before top level statements. Now, if you're a beginner, does this not look really like, oh, okay, so I have this one and then I have this one and oh my God, what is it all doing? What are all these methods? Okay. And there's a lot here. And if I just want to write an API, like a simple thing that has a couple of endpoints, this is a lot of ceremony. Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot going on here. So what they did, and I can totally still write it this way. That's the important thing. If I want to abstract my code into this and have, I can still write my program file like this. And you see this here, it says go use startup. Can totally still do that. Okay. So for those that wish to still do that, we can do that. But now,
Scott made me laugh. Scott goes, "What are all these methods?" Shows one method. Shut up, Scott. Shut up.
Now, all of that stuff is just here.
Wait. Did you just apply a diff? What did you do?
No, I just opened a different file.
You did?
So look here.
Where was it?
All right, I've got the .NET 5 web API, and this one is now a .NET 6 code. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. And then we have...
It's all just here in one.
Okay. And then you got it cleaned up. And it is, I mean, honestly, even like the non-indents, like that's a huge for readability.
Yeah. This is a little bit easier. And
why are those usings even needed? Those ones that you still have?
Because these here are all ones from my project. Okay. And I don't want them global. And this one is one that I've brought in. I could make that one a global, but I'd have to add a global using, and it doesn't seem worth it for just the one file.
What? Why don't we want things global again? Can you just remind me?
Well, because if we go back here, in here, well, if I had, see, like I don't want everything to have access to this thing. So let's just say in C# you have data entities that you want just for your database to use. And to protect your database, you don't have things going all the way up to the surface. So we have entity models, and then we have data transfer models and view models. So let's take out the middle one. Let's have entity models and view models. Okay. Now, if I use an entity model for my, do you want to see this in code? Would that help you? I think it would.
What's a model?
A class.
A class. Okay.
Okay.
And what's an entity?
Call them is a data object. So let's go and open
like an interface with populated bits.
It's nothing to do with interfaces. So
just say totally wrong. Stop it.
It's fine. I'm all right. I'm gonna open up a project that probably has.
Wait, are we going to use MVC in our console app? Oh my God, tell me we're going to learn MVC.
No, we're not going to use MVC in our
We're never going to learn MVC.
You want to learn MVC? I've taught you MVC before.
No, but like in a real world, I'm writing it now. Like not a hypothetical, you know?
Oh, we can totally do that.
But we're not, console apps don't do that. They're not about that.
No, because MVC is a web application and a console app is a desktop application. So it's nothing to do with web.
I feel like people who like really love MVC could be like, my desktop app's going to have it. I'm going to do it this way. No.
I mean, you could. It's a pattern.
Right.
I don't know why you would.
Okay. I'm with you.
All right. So if I go in here, all right, let's have a look at Tacky Tacos. No, that doesn't have a MVC. We need an MVC project that I have. Oh, okay. No, yes, we do. Okay, this project here. This one should have, it won't have data, but it will have views. Okay. This is, no, it's not. Okay. I need to draw something. Oh my God.
What's the controller do?
So All right, let me get Miro open.
I'm so sorry. I'm imagining the model, because you showed me a model, is like your basic classy bits, and
So
then your
it's a model
view is like
because it's modeling something, so it's object oriented. So we am I gonna
modeling something, but it's not an interface, and that's the part where I'm
no.
like,
So an interface is a coding contract. Okay. So let's come in here, and I'm just gonna actually. Can I do another board? New board. All right.
ooh,
So
where are we? What is this place?
this is Miro. Okay. So if we have a data, we're so far off doing our workshop, Alyssa.
So wait, okay, just for the Wadden workshop, we won't be covering MVC because why would we? Okay, because we're not doing webby
we're
things.
doing introductory stuff.
Do all Blazor apps follow MVC?
No, they're not.
MVC. You just said that MVC is for the web and Blazor is for the web.
Yeah, but they're different models, different.
Oh, patterns. Blazor uses, what does Blazor use?
Its own thing.
Oh,
I mean, it's sort of. No, it's just not. It's not. It's its own thing. Okay. All right. So a data entry. Okay. We're going to have, let's rate a model. A model is going to be an order. Okay. And the order has.
Findle said MVP. That's what they use.
So an order has an ID. It has customer, and it has items. Okay. This is now a model. Okay. And this is what we call a model in C#. We're modeling something in the real world. Okay. It's a class. So order is going to be a class, but we call this a model. And this is going to be order class. All right. It's going to be just called order.cs, where there's very much convention based. So when you're talking about a data entity, it's very clean, and it is just called order because it's the entity. All right. And then we're going to have why are you so ginormous? Okay. So we're going to have, I'm going to copy all of this. And why we have some different things here. This is now going to be a view model. And all right. And this is now going to be called order view model. All right. That's the class name. All right. So it's all right. Now, I don't want this is now going to contain everything that the view wants. I don't want to show the ID. I just want to show the customer name, the items. I want a drop down list of actions. What else do I want? What else might we want on a view?
This isn't just input. Like, it's not like just mocking out though what the view will want. It's like actually building the view, or no? Wait,
this will be giving the data to the view, to and from the view. Okay, so we might want an input box, like an update. Okay, so what we can have is, okay, let's go his good customer. Okay, we don't want the customer who's on the surface to know if we think they're a good customer or not. Okay, we don't want that leaking to the surface. Okay, we don't want that coming out in the view, because they're like, oh my god, they're my favorite retailer and retailer, and they're like, oh, they hate me, they think I'm a crappy customer. We don't want to tell them that, even if we think it secretly in the back. Okay, so this is talking to our database, and what happens is we need something to give this view to the view. And so we have a view, but how do we get the data to it? So that's what the controller does. The controller says, all right, I need to add some stuff to this order view model and hand it out to the view. So the controller
It's kind
comes
of
along.
weird because I feel like it's like a bit one step too far. I feel like our view model could be responsible for that gatekeeping that you're saying the controller's doing.
Yeah, but our view model needs a drop-down list of actions and it needs an input box, but our entity doesn't need that. So how are you going to deal with that?
You're saying the controller is the one that's like differentiating between the two?
So what the controller does, okay, is it comes in. I'm going to do that. I mean, the controller does quite a few things, but let me just move that. All right, and the controller in the middle.
You know, that Thindle was saying is good boy instead of is good customer. And they're talking about like Cookie. So I was like, yes, we should make it dog related.
We can totally make it. And Cookie is a girl, so she's neither a good boy or a bad boy, Thindle. She's a girly. She's fast asleep with her nose tucked in. So what the controller says is it is going to map the order to the
Yeah, I feel like on that Thindle.
order VM. I'm just going to shorten that to VM. Okay.
Map
and
the order VM.
Give it all the other stuff. Okay. So the controller controls the data that goes to the view. Okay.
Oh, cool.
In MVC. Okay. So what might be here is that the view, this needs to be, maybe they want something else. So the order also wants like a list of actions. Okay, so over here we have action. Okay, and that is going to be we're going to have now this could be an interface. We're going to have send email. Okay, and we could have and this is where you might want an interface. We're going to have action send text.
Tindo was saying like the order is what's returned from the get, whereas the HTTP get, whereas the order view models where you're mapping it to an object to bind to the view. And it does make sense, and like what Layla's saying makes sense, but also it still feels like we could do this in one file.
You totally could.
Like, right. But I guess
the thing is, what happens is this is how you write maintainable code for big applications. Okay.
I see. Yeah.
So these, I don't quite agree with you, Thindle, because I don't let my order go anywhere near the view. Okay.
My order go anywhere near the view.
I don't.
The controller is like the one that's going to map
nothing that goes up there. So my order view model will come back in, and I will then use the controller to take the updates. Like, okay, they've added an item, and then I will use the controller to map the updates from the view to the data entity. So the controller sits between the view and the database, and it talks to the database with a data entity, because that models what the database tables look like, and the view model models the input boxes on the view.
He's trying to angularize it.
I see.
I appreciate it.
So now our controller needs to collate all the data that the view model with. So it's going to come over and it's going to go, all right, I want to get all the available actions, and I'm going to get the customer order, and then it brings, you see, how else would you get all of these actions and these orders to the view? How would you do that? So what you do is you make a view model, which is everything the view needs. So the view model is going to get all of these actions into a drop-down list, and it's going to get the order details, and it's going to build this nice packet of all the data that the view wants.
But the view model is only like I wouldn't put, oh, and I need a button. and the button is a static button and it's always going to say submit. I wouldn't put that information in the view model. It only cares about organizing the data ebits, right?
The stuff that gets transferred. So when you do templating in Angular, so you have templates. So you've got your like HTML type stuff, haven't you? And then you have data that you inject into your HTML using Angular. That's what this does. So when you're doing Angular, you pass over a collection of data, don't you, to your model? It might be JSON or whatever.
Yeah.
And you might build that dynamically. But remember, we don't like dynamics. Remember that, Alyssa. We don't like dynamics in C#. We like strongly typed.
We don't like dynamics.
Yeah. You don't, you see, this is where your memory, you know, we did that last year, I think, or the year before, and everyone was screaming at me because I taught you
that's right,
expando object and dynamic object, and everyone was screaming at me.
They were very angry. Okay.
They were very angry.
We should have like a playbook of like things that will get you shot in this community. Just like, you know, so people know.
So does that explain like
no,
the
yeah,
MVC
it totally
thing?
does.
Okay.
And so this, when we go back to our console app, you had created a models folder just to show me that it would still work, but we won't be breaking things down like that for this kind of console app.
We don't need to. We don't need that because we're going to bring in a new user, and I'm just showing you all the different ways that you can create a user.
So then we can love that, and I think that's such a like. we need to teach that because it's a little overwhelming. I'm like, oh frick.
So then we can go like we've got the var name, and then we can go user dot name is equal to name. So we can show how we can like assign things and reassign things. And then
now, if this was coming from the user.cs file. Now, if I created another like program_1.cs and like I started using user, would he have name, or that just depends on where our database is and like
so you can only have one entry point to your application, okay? And this program file is the entry point to your application, okay?
Oh, okay.
And so if we created another program, it wouldn't know about this. This is a very unique file that the application is looking for, this thing. So it's an entry point, and in this top level hosting model, it's very specifically looking for this one file. If you had a duplicate, the compiler would be like, there's 2 points of entry.
Okay. I gotcha. Okay.
So, you know, it's I just need to tell Silicon Orchid to go and put bread in the oven.
Yum. Oh, I know. We've gone way over. I need to wrap soon because I just realized I have so much to do today, and I'm just asking a million questions, but I appreciate you.
No, it's okay. We can do another one. Don't you worry. We can do another one next week. I can come next week as well.
I think so. Next week I'll be at NGConf, but I would love to schedule one for the following week because I definitely want to keep working on this and understanding.
But you and I can do something offline this week as well. Okay. Maybe I'll do some work on this on Thursday morning, folks, if you want to come in and help. We'll have a play around with that console tools. But what we can sort of do is build on this. We can have, here's one we made earlier so people can play with it. But I think it'd be nice to show, you know, here's some loops and here's some things that we can do.
Types, classes.
So we've done variables, types.
If statements, like, I don't know how you, if you want.
That's a loop. I would call that like a loop. It's not. It's kind of a loop. I would say it's. I
did not know.
Well, God, it's something logic. Oh my God, it's just logic. Okay, logic. It allows you to split loops. Conditional flow. Thank you. Conditional logic. I was going to call it. So. No. Where's my pipe? There.
Are there actual loops though, where you're like for?
Yeah, we can do that. So we could do like we can do while loops. We can do
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
No, we're not doing go to.
Not doing what?
We're not doing go-tos.
Oh, is that a thing? That's a thing.
From like the old ages. No, they're for each. So you can do for each. We can. So we need
for each eyeball.
yeah, for each var I in
oh my gosh. And
eyeballs.
then we could like for each eyeball we could like print something so it's like showing
Yeah.
the eyeballs on the screen, you know, like
yeah, we could do that in it needs to be a collection, which is not a collection, but you know, if we had a collection of eyeballs, you know, so this would be we can show that we can do for each eye and eyeballs. I'll put that in as a placeholder, and we'll have
like that. Yeah.
God. Okay, we have a list of int called eyeballs equals new. Okay, so now we have, oh God, we now need to bring in that. So now we've got eyeballs, we've got a for each, and we can go while true, do this. We can have, oh, what's the other one? We have an until, is it? We have, oh God, what is it? No one likes it. We have
no
it
one
that
here
way.
likes it.
It's something until true. Why can't I remember that? Until we hit the reason.
Do until said
do. Yes, do.
Or do while.
Do while. Do while. That's what I was trying to get to. So we have do while true. We've got all these.
I love though that you do have those things of like, but no one likes it. Because I even like as I'm creating this Tailwind workshop this week, I'm like, my husband was like, "Oh, be careful about teaching that because everyone hates it." And I'm like, "Oh, they do? Like, I think it's a cool feature, but."
So there are really good reasons to use some of these things. Okay, it is really useful. Do while is useful. So you can have like do like if you're doing a process, a long running process, and or maybe you know, do while something while not end of file. We can have else. We can have if else.
I think there's so many cool things, and then I'm wondering if we should wait to bring in the console tools until you're ready to teach the using section, maybe, or maybe yeah. I don't know, yeah, because then that maybe could be a cool segue of like we're gonna up our game in this console app, and then talk about some more complex.
Oh, it's else if. Hang on.
Is it?
That way.
Is it still squiggling you?
Yeah, it's just because I've not put stuff in. And then finally, I think it doesn't like, oh, it's a try catch finally. That's why it's a try catch. And then finally. So you can have something like that, you know. Do well, not bored. Thanks, Marcus Voice Programmer. So there's all these loops. So we can try and work something in. So a do while will be something where you could keep our program running the whole time. So if we keep, we could do stuff through that. So we would never let it end. If that, you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
So that's how we could keep doing stuff, and we'll figure out some nice things. Yeah, there you go. Napalm's got do dog.give treat while is good boy. So as long as they're a good boy, they get a treat, and you know. So there's lots of things. So yeah, those are the sorts of things.
And I will I will schedule another one following ngconf, and I'm excited to like keep fleshing this out with you. But like, I can't wait to like teach people. It's going to be fun. Like, this is so neat.
I mean, we went way off topic and stuff like that, but I hope just giving you a little insight into like what the model view controller is. And Alyssa, we can do a couple of shows where we build an MVC app. I'm very happy to, teach you.
I
That.
think,
We
yeah,
can do
especially
that.
if we keep it like super basic, like that'd be great. Like real simple, like text-based, I'm good with
No,
that.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, folks in chat, do you think we need to cover anything else, or do you
Oh
think what
yeah,
we've
for
got
the
in mind, showing a little bit of conditional logic and some things, and then we can just let people play in their own time? We're just giving them a few building blocks, and we'll build like a more intricate app, the two of us, that we can show people to go to earlier. Later.
So we do have to keep it very like acceptable for someone who's never programmed a day in their life. So I think honestly this is wonderful. And there's a lot of concepts in this already in this outline.
And we'll go into, I'm going to do a top level hosting and minimal API for the second workshop.
Yeah.
So some of the things will be answered in there that we won't touch at all, like namespacing. We're not going to touch in this one. We'll see you too, Aztec in person. It's going to be so much fun.
I know. I can't wait.
And I can't wait to eat a cannoli because I've never had one before. And
man, I hope you like it because you kind of said cream cheese, and I was like, oh no.
But Ed says it's ricotta. Oh, speaking of Ed, Alyssa, Ed messaged me the other day.
Did he say something rude? Do I need to talk to him?
No. He said, I can't wait for you to be at DevReach because I have a surprise and I'm not telling you and nobody knows, not even Alyssa.
I feel a little left out, Ed.
He said you were on holiday and he's not telling you either.
Well, I feel a little left out. So just saying, maybe I should get a little bit of the surprise too, especially if it's chocolate. Okay, thanks. So
I don't know what the surprise is. He's got
you should only be worried a little bit.
It's not specifically for me. It's something, I don't know what he's plotting and he won't tell me.
I can put my noodle on it. Put the noodle on figuring out his plots.
Yeah. I said, I'm going to message Alyssa and ask her. And he's like, she's on holiday. And I'm like, and he's like, but she doesn't know. And I am so not impressed. He'll probably, we know he's going to do his British accent in person.
And we're all going to love it. It's going to be amazing.
Of course.
Let's see some new Scottish. Oh, this has been so much fun. And also, chat, if you didn't know, we are having DevReach. That's where some people were talking about seeing both of us in person. It's in like 3 weeks. So check out DevReach if you want to come hang out in Boston with us soon. Boston in the fall. But that is all from my side. Boston. Thank you all. Give lots of love. And we'll see you not next week, but the week after. So
yay! And I'm streaming Thursday morning where I'll probably work on this.
Thursday morning. Go LaylaCodesIt.
So, all right. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on.